All right. So next we got a movie called The Authority.
That's wild that it's a movie and not a TV show. Do you guys know what that is? Do you guys know who
No.
the
Nope.
Authority is?
I've actually never heard.
Okay, so the only reason I know about the Authority is because there's one guy. It's basically like some of the characters are like weird pastiches of people like a Superman or a Batman. So there's one guy on there called Midnighter who basically acts like Sherlock Holmes, the Robert Downey Jr. movies, where he can kind of plan people's attacks and people's like moves ahead of time. Like he's very super brilliant. But the main thing is that like James Gunn said, like this is a team that just kind of like is gonna do whatever is necessary to do the right thing. So he already has sort of experience with that with Peacemaker, but I don't know if I forgot he's not, I don't think he's writing this, but it's still a very similar concept, and I find it very interesting that they're gonna bring a movie about the Authority when you're gonna start also with like the other end of the spectrum. You're gonna have someone like Superman, and you have people like the Authority who are like, oh yeah, we're good, but we're just gonna do it our way. And whether if it's casualties, ethics, morals, be damned. So that's going to be an interesting way
For the
to try
greater
to
good, right?
the greater
greater
good. Interesting to see how that gets balanced in there, especially since that team, not that they're psychos, but like that team is like kind of like power set is kind of overpowered. So then that comes up to a point where like, how are you going to have people like who are you going to throw up? Who are you going to throw against them to kind of establish themselves as like, hey, we are the Authority, and like, are there going to be like an overarching, kind of like bad guys, so that then this like nascent Justice League has to fight them, and then it's like, hey guys, there's a better way.
Possibly.
Mm.
Possibly.
The way it was described, because I wasn't familiar with any of these, like it gave me The Boys vibes.
It's kind
But-
of like they're kind of like the Boys, yeah, except they have the set powers. Like, there's a chick that's basically like Hawk Girl. There's another girl who like can create and do stuff with electricity. There's a guy who's like bioengineered to be like Superman-esque, and then the Midnighter is kind of like it's just neurologically enhanced to be more of a brilliant, super ultra genius and inventor and all that kind of stuff and fighter. And there's a couple other characters in there, so it's gonna be weird to see them kind of like they may establish them as sort of like a weird like anti-Justice League in the beginning, and then it's like, no, we're gonna take them out. But then, it's very interesting to see what's going to happen.
Just curious to see that, like a group team up almost in a movie so soon. So it'll be cool to see.
So soon, yeah. But I mean, it worked with something like Guardians, right?
Yeah.
So there's established, precedent, so to speak. But yeah, no date on that or anything yet,
No.
if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
No.
All of these that he announced today, he said these are part of chapter 1. He didn't say this is all of chapter 1.
Yeah.
And supposedly these are all coming out within the next like 3 or 4 years. I think he said up till 2027.
Dang.
Wow.
Unless anything gets delayed. But he says as of now,
That's
all of these projects are coming out, spread out through 2027.
Plus maybe some other surprise ones that were not announced.
Right.
Maybe shuffled in somewhere.
Yeah, like maybe they come up with something last minute and then say, okay, let's throw this in there during this, first part of this phase. Just because,
Yeah. You can compare it to the phases from Marvel. So instead of calling it phase 1, it's chapter 1, and this is a part of it. So he's kind of doing it like the phases now, where it seems like each phase in Marvel now is going to be like 2 or 3 years worth of material, and then end it with a bang. So I'm sure the end of chapter 1 will be maybe
Some big event.
2029 or something like that, with a huge movie at the end. So maybe that will be when the Justice League movie is. So we'll see. But yeah, that's pretty crazy.
That'll probably
Especially since he already announced that the first main movie, which is the Superman movie, is in 2025. So it just means in
So we're
2
looking at-
years.
Yeah.
In 2 years, he'll have how many movies did he announce today?
5.
So 5
So
movies.
5
in
movies and
2
5
years.
shows were announced today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're looking at late 2024, the earliest, and then possibly into 2027
Mm-hmm.
for this part. like maybe mid 2027 at the latest.
Nuts.
And we still have maybe another, like you said, like another year and a half probably of other stuff.
That's pretty wild. Pretty wild.
Yeah, it's what we call an aggressive timeline. But I think you can do it. Yeah, I have faith. I'm optimistic. I mean, what else can we be at this point? It's yeah. Anyway,
At least there's some planning and structure
Right.
going on.
yeah, and it's what a lot of people have been wanting.
That's what the problem was before. That it was just like some of these get some planning, and then these just there is no planning.
That sounds good. It's like somebody convinced one dude that was just high on something, and it's just like, all right, yeah, let's do it. Oh wait, what? And then, actually, I don't want that. And then it's
and the
canceled.
one guy that had a plan, they're like, oh, after that second one, we don't like your plan anymore.